Sailing right-of-way rules exist to avoid collisions. If we break the collision regulations, we can be liable for damages, injury, or even manslaughter and be fined or sent to prison. In this video, I explain the fundamental sailing rules of the road. I'll explain when you're the give-way vessel and stand-on vessel and what your obligations are in both cases. I'll show some examples of the rules in practice and we'll look at what happened in these crashes. The international regulations for preventing collisions at sea, also called the COLREGs or IRPCS, are the main collision regulations. I'll also cover the racing rules of sailing alongside, because this is the other main rule set that sailors talk about. There are a lot of similarities, but also a couple of differences. We must always know which tack we are sailing on, so that we can comply with our obligations to stand on or keep clear. We need to understand windward and leeward. The mainsail always sets on the leeward side. The other side is the windward side. This is clearly defined in both the COLREGs and the racing rules. When the mainsail changes sides, the windward and leeward sides change accordingly. A boat is either on starboard or port tack, corresponding to her windward side. In this diagram, the windward side is the starboard side, so the boat is on starboard tack. Here, the sail is set on the port side, so the windward side is the starboard side, and we're on starboard tack. This time it's the other way round. We're on port tack because the sail is set on the starboard side. With the port starboard rule, a boat on port tack gives way to a boat on starboard tack. Sailing upwind here on port tack, we can see the other boat is on starboard tack and we sail behind it. The other options for us would be to tack or to slow down so it crosses ahead of us. It should be obvious to the stand-on vessel that the give-way boat is keeping clear. This time we're on starboard tack and the other boat is on port tack. As the stand-on vessel, we have a responsibility to give the other boat room to keep clear. The COLREGs require that the stand-on vessel shall keep her course and speed. The racing rules require the right-of-way boat to give the other boat room to keep clear if we change course. Basically, if the other boat is keeping clear, we can't just turn in front of them if it means they can't continue to keep clear. If it becomes clear that the give-way boat is not doing so, we should act to avoid a collision. The give-way vessel might not have seen us. This is especially true for boats flying a spinnaker, who might have a large blind spot and might not see a boat to leeward. Be prepared to hail to the other boat to make them aware of your presence.
Starboard!
Putting port and starboard stickers onto your boom can help to remind you which tack you're on, especially when it gets a bit frantic on the water. I'll put a link in the description. When two boats are on the same tack, different rules apply. We need to understand a couple more terms. A leeward boat is defined as the boat which is on the other boat's leeward side. The other is the windward boat. This makes it very clear which is which, regardless of where the wind is coming from. Here, the sails are both set on the port side, making it the leeward side, and the starboard side is the windward side. Boat B is on the leeward side of boat A, making it the leeward boat. Boat A is on the windward side of boat B, making it the windward boat. This streaker, the boat on the right of the screen, is on the laser's leeward side, so it's the leeward boat. The laser is the windward boat. A windward boat keeps clear of a leeward boat. Here we are on the leeward side of this boat, making us the leeward boat, and her the keep clear windward boat. Here's another example of us as the leeward boat. In this case, we are on the windward side of the other boat, making us the giveaway boat. As our courses converge, it is our responsibility to stay out of the way by changing our course, slowing down, or we could tack away. The racing rules also talk about boats being overlapped. Imagine a line perpendicular to the back of a boat or its normal equipment. If the other boat is behind this, it is clear astern with no overlap. The boat in front is clear ahead. Here you can see boat B is clear astern because it is behind the perpendicular line. Boat A is therefore clear ahead. The boats overlap when neither boat is clear astern. Here, boat B lies across the perpendicular line from boat A, so it is not clear astern. Therefore, it is overlapped. This is important to understand. If there is no overlap, like we can see between boats A and B here, the boats are clear ahead and clear astern of each other. When there is an overlap, as we can see between boat 1 and 2, they are windward and leeward boats. Boats also have an overlap if a boat overlaps them both. Here, boats A and B wouldn't overlap, but C overlaps them both, making them all overlapped. Boat A is the windward boat, boat B is the leeward boat, boat C is both a windward boat to boat B and a leeward boat to boat A. When boats are in front and behind each other, this is where the COLREGs and the racing rules are a little different. In the racing rules, a boat clear astern gives way to a boat clear ahead. It's fairly obvious that you can't just sail into the back of a boat in front of you, but this rule does only apply to boats that are on the same tack. I'll come on to this a bit later. In the COLREGs, the only rules that are specific to sailing boats meeting one another are the port starboard rule and the windward leeward rule. The other rules apply to all types of vessels. Any vessel overtaking another shall keep out of the way of the vessel being overtaken. So, any boat that is catching up with any other craft from behind is required to keep clear until she is finally passed into clear. In practice, we must keep clear of any boat that we catch up from behind by going around them until we've got ahead of them. In the racing rules, there's no such thing as an overtaking boat. In the same scenario, the boat catching up from behind is clear astern. When an overlap is established, it's the windward-leeward boat rule that applies. When the overlap is broken, the boats become clear ahead and clear astern again. I'll show you some scenarios and crashes now and explain which rules are in effect. This first collision is a straightforward port starboard issue just after the start of a race. We're on board a laser sailing on starboard tack and we're holding a steady course. The other boat tacks on to port, plenty of distance away. They can see us, but with the boat heeling over so much they won't be able to bear away. My video about boat balance explains about this. Releasing the main sheet depowers the sail, and the resulting windward heel is now making the boat bear away quickly, but the mast is spinning through the air, hitting the laser mast. I happened to catch it in the background of something else. Here you can see the masts crush together. The port tack boat didn't give way, and after they'd got the boat back up, they dutifully carried out a 720-degree penalty turn. The other option would have been to use the leeward heel to help the boat turn back into another quick tack. Here there are 8 boats sailing side by side towards a mark, but they're not close to it yet. They're all on the same tack and overlapped, so quite simply it's the windward boat rule. Each boat must keep clear of a boat to leeward of them. If any of the overlaps are broken, then the boat clear astern keeps clear of a boat clear ahead. This is a bit of a strange scenario, but it's not uncommon, so I wanted to include it in this video. Here, a starboard tack boat is behind a port tack boat. This can occur when sailing on a run of a very broad reach. This is also different depending whether you're racing or not. In the racing rules, the port starboard rule applies to boats on opposite tacks. The clear ahead, clear astern rule only applies to boats on the same tack. So the rule that applies in this case is that the port tack boat keeps clear. In the COLREGs, the overtaking boat rule takes precedence. So if the starboard tack boat is catching up from behind, it becomes the overtaking boat and must keep clear until it's past the other boat. This collision is a little more complicated because there's more boats around. We are in a race sailing upwind to the windward mark. The mark is not relevant here because the mark room rule does not apply between boats on opposite tacks on a beat to windward. As we tack onto port to approach the mark, we can see the line of starboard tack boats from some distance away. We must also keep clear of the red boat because we are clear astern. We must give way to these starboard tack boats, but they should not tack right in front of us. The red boat starts to tack to comply with her obligation to keep clear. The starboard tack boats are an obstruction to the red boat, and Racing Rule 20 allows her to hail for room to tack, passing the obligation along. It isn't entirely clear if a hail was made. On board this laser, it's decision time. A quick tack would allow us to keep clear of both boats. There's room to bear away and go behind the red and the black boats. Or we could let our sail out, slow down, and let them pass ahead of us. The gap isn't big enough and there's a crash. It's quite simply a port starboard situation where the port tack boat did not keep clear. Don't forget, whoever's broken a rule is liable for the other boat's damage, so having a camera on board can help to establish who's in the wrong, as well as being helpful for self-coaching. I'll put a link in the description for some ideas about cameras and how to mount them. Thank you to a few people who've contributed footage and checked for accuracy. There are other videos on my channel to support your sailing skills. Have a browse around, or you might like these videos here.